I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to TCM and more, the final night of this month's salute to movies inspired by Pulp Fiction. Specifically, tonight we're focused on a big part of Pulp Fiction stories, science fiction and fantasy. We just had blood-sucking aliens in the 1951 film The Thing from Another World. Up next, another reliable pulp premise, dinosaurs. As many of you know because you experienced it, once upon a time, Saturdays at the neighborhood cinema belonged to kids. In an era before multiplexes, when small towns had just one theater with one screen, no matter what the main feature was, on Saturday afternoons the theater filled up with kids, eager for some blend of action and adventure. Up next, from 1974, a Saturday matinee classic, The Land That Time Forgot. The script is based on a story by Edgar Rice Burroughs, who gave the world Tarzan. This Burroughs yarn was published in a pulp magazine in 1918, a story set during the First World War. When a German submarine sinks a British ship, a few survivors end up in the sub, and the sub ends up on an uncharted island, a land, as we know from the title, that time forgot. It's a place where dinosaurs and cavemen live side by side. But just a word of warning here, don't expect the dinosaurs to look like, like dinosaurs. The special effects in the film are as primitive as the cavemen. Remember, this is nearly 20 years before Jurassic Park came out. That was perhaps the greatest movie-going experience of my life. Opening weekend, midnight show, Uptown Theater in Washington, D.C. It's totally packed. I was sitting up there in the balcony with my girlfriend at the time, Jenny Lorenz. And when those dinosaurs first showed up on screen, the theater gasped. When we saw the T-Rex, the theater shrieked. No one had seen anything like it. I mean, I was 26 years old. I wasn't a little kid, and I swear to you, a big part of my brain was thinking, how'd Steven Spielberg get real dinosaurs? All right, back to The Land That Time Forgot. Amicus, the production company, could not afford the likes of stop-motion animation pioneer Ray Harryhausen, so the dinosaurs here are, well, they're puppets, and there are wires, and we can sometimes see the wires. But if you can watch this movie with a forgiving eye and go with the flow, the way kids did at the Saturday matinee in the 1970s, you're going to enjoy this experience. Directed by Kevin Connor and starring the incomparable Doug McClure. Released by British Lion in the UK in 1974 and by American International Pictures the following year in the States, this is The Land That Time Forgot. The Land That Time Forgot is an adaptation of a story by Edgar Rice Burroughs, who created Tarzan. He bought quite a bit of property in Los Angeles' San Fernando Valley, just west of Encino. The name of that part of the valley, Tarzana. Not a coincidence. This became the first of three Burroughs fantasy adventure stories adapted for the screen in the 1970s by the British production company Amicus and released in the States by American International Pictures, all starring Doug McClure, all directed by Kevin Connor. The filmmakers followed The Land That Time Forgot in 1976 with At the Earth's Core, and in 1977 with The People That Time Forgot, a sequel to The Land That Time Forgot. Patrick Wayne, John Wayne's son, is in the sequel. The same group was also involved in plans to bring another Burroughs pulp novel series, John Carter of Mars, to the screen, but that project never happened. However, Disney finally brought John Carter to the big screen in 2012. It was very expensive, very poorly received, did very little business at the box office. Other than that, big success. Ahead tonight, a Pulp Fiction superheroes film debut in 1975. Ron Ely, who played Tarzan on TV in the 1960s, is Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze. That's next on TCM.